CJ Flyer back with another YouTube video. So this one is also going to be a little bit of a different video. This week has just been all kinds of different. Earlier this week we were talking about some Olympic basketball. Previously it's just been more focused on the NBA and free agency news and what I think about different trades and signings. But we're in the Olympics right now. We got a lot to talk about. But this is where we're going really off the beaten path here. We're going to be talking about 3v3 basketball, or I guess 3x3, or whatever they call it for the Olympic Games. It's half court, 3v3, and they play some very interesting rules. I watched my first couple games today, and I guess I chose the right day to watch because both the men's and women's Team USA teams, they've been struggling the last week, and they finally won some games, and they were very exciting. So we're going to go ahead and just talk about it. For those of you that have not been watching the 3v3 basketball, let me just give a rough breakdown of the rules here. So basically, each team's got 4 players, but only 3 are on the court at one time. The 4th player is a sub. Still not entirely sure how the subs work or when you're allowed to make subs, but it's just in between scoring, I guess. It's a very fast-paced game, 10 minutes, I think there's timeouts. Anyways, inside the arc is worth 1 point, and then outside the arc is worth 2 points. So instead of, 2 points inside, 3 points outside, this is more like pickup basketball rules, really. It's like you're playing half court at LA Fitness or something. And then what gets really interesting is free throws are also worth 1 point. So you really do not want to commit a shooting foul because that is going to give your opponent a huge advantage in the scoring column. So basically, 2 points outside, 1 point inside. As soon as a team scores, the opposing team immediately is supposed to grab the ball, and the shot clock the game clock keeps going, and the shot clock starts immediately. And the shot clock is 12 seconds. I kid you not. 12 seconds. The shot clock. Yes, you heard that right. The shot clock starts as soon as the other team scores. So it is very fast-paced and honestly a bit chaotic, which at first I was like, what, this is ridiculous. Who came up with this? Nobody plays basketball this way. But the more I watch, the more I'm like, this is pretty chaotic, which actually makes it kind of exciting. But yeah, 12-second shot clock starts as soon as the ball goes through the net for the other team, or as soon as you get a defensive rebound. You have to immediately bring it outside the three-point line, either by dribbling out there or by passing out there. And it's not like a free pass either, as far as I could tell. Like the other team was sort of defending as soon as they finished a scoring or the other team got the rebound. So you got to be on, everyone's on the edge of their seat. You got to be on your toes at all times playing. There is no downtime at all during any of this as a player, unless you're the one sub sitting out. So yeah, very, very high-paced play, which depending on who's playing and how they're playing, it can either be really exciting or at times you're just seeing people throw up some wild bricks. But yeah, and then it's a 10-minute game, and I believe it's either the first to 21 or at the end of the 10-minute period, like whoever's got the lead wins the game. Which in the women's game today, Team USA versus France, they actually finished the 10-minute period tied at 13 apiece. 12 apiece. And then at that point, my understanding is it's kind of like sudden death. Basically, like, the one team has whoever scores first, the other team has a chance at a rebuttal, to score back at that point. And then, let's say, for example, so actually what did happen, Team France scored their 13th point, and Team USA had one possession to either tie it to keep it in overtime, or if they scored a 2-pointer shot from outside the perimeter, they would win the game. That's exactly what happened in this one. Pretty intense. Now, I want to talk about the members of both the men's and the women's Team USA. The women's, It's not the best of the best, you know. It seems like Team USA has gone, and most of these other teams for other countries went the route of putting their best players on their 5v5 teams full court, and then the 3v3 teams, it gets very interesting. So I recognize two of the names right off the bat. Hailey Van Lith, for anyone that follows women's basketball in college, knows that she is entering what I believe is her last year of eligibility. She's transferred from LSU now to TCU in Fort Worth, Texas. She previously spent a few years playing for Louisville and then came to LSU. I guess she's deemed like the Kevin Durant of college women's basketball. It's just transferred to the best team. I don't actually follow close enough to know how true that is, but that's kind of the impression I've gotten from the way I've seen some people talk about it online. And then Ryan Howard is a WNBA player I've seen play in person, actually. She plays for the Atlanta Dream, and I had I got to see her play in person against the Dallas Wings in Dallas for round one of the playoffs last year in 2023. And she had one of the better games of her career. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. It's this game right here. September 15th of last year. There you go. Almost 12 months, 11 months from now. She went 8 of 15 from 3. And I got to tell you, most of those 8 threes, they came in the first half. She had nearly 30 points in the first half from what I recall. And it was absolutely insane. I thought for sure we were about to witness the end of Dallas's season, the way that game was going. And it was only game 1, but still, it was not looking good. But Dallas ended up pulling up the victory in that one. But yeah, Ryan Howard is a beast. She can shoot the ball. If we look at her season stats, so she was Rookie of the Year in 2022, and she averages around 15 to 17 points per game. She was an all-star. This year she was not, but I mean, she's still putting up similar stats. She's looking good, getting 2 steals per game. Yeah, she's an outstanding player. And then the other two I had to look up. I'm not familiar with them at all. We have Sierra here. She is a 30-year-old WNBA veteran. It looks like she's a bit of a journeyman, or journeywoman, I should say. Played on a number of teams. Most recently was Seattle in 2021. Oh my goodness, she played for 3 teams in 2021. Who has anyone ever done that before? That is wild. I don't know what kind of trading restrictions there are in the WNBA. I'm not even sure if that's possible in the NBA. Anyways, so yeah, she hasn't played in the WNBA since 2021. And then we have Dierika, who's also a WNBA veteran, 30 years old, and she is currently on the Los Angeles Sparks, previously on the Las Vegas Aces, currently averaging 19 points per game this season. She's an all-star, looking outstanding. So yeah, those are your Team USA players for the women's team. And yeah, once again, I mean, no one really stood out as like the best player that game. I haven't really been watching the other games, but just back and forth, high intensity. And it came down to, like I said, they tied at 12 apiece at the end of regulation. And then France scored the first bucket. USA had a chance to either tie or take the lead. And then Ryan Howard, who hadn't scored all game, with a step back 3 in the corner. I mean, it was just insane to watch. I'm telling you right now, y'all got to watch 3v3 basketball. It doesn't really matter who the teams are. It doesn't matter men's or women's. Honestly, I'm telling you, just anything. Just go. If you got a Peacock subscription or something, watch these games. They're incredible. Now we got to talk about the men's, because the men's, obviously I know a lot more about the NBA than I do the WNBA. And with that, looking at the roster for Team USA, I do not understand how they could not get more experienced players, better players. I gotta imagine that like the current NBA players just had no interest in playing in these games. And something else about these games, by the way, the basketball that they use apparently is the same size as a women's basketball, but the same weight as a men's basketball. I don't know how they came up with that decision. I guess the claim is that it's easier to handle the ball. I don't know. I don't know how they came up with that one, but anyways, so we got USA again also versus France for the men's, and yeah, I'm sure if you're looking at this roster right now, you're probably just as confused as I am. Everyone knows Jimmer Fredette. He was a player coach today. He didn't play at all. I think he's got some kind of injury or something. And then who in the world are these three guys? I mean, seriously. This is what I'm saying. I mean, could they not have gotten like Mikal Bridges or something, to play in this? Maybe the Knicks organization wasn't fond of their newly acquired star player playing in an international tournament in the offseason. I don't know. But really, I was kind of shocked. We couldn't at least get like someone from the Big Three, like an NBA veteran. Could we get Tracy McGrady out here? I mean, I know he's like in his 40s or 50s. Could we get like an old Michael Jordan out here to play for Team USA? I feel like even Michael Jordan at his age, I don't know, man. Another thing about this roster, none of these guys have height. Oh, and one more thing before we really get into the men's team here. I forgot to mention the women's team actually had Cameron Brink, the rookie from the LA Sparks, on their roster. She's got an injury right now. So, unfortunate for Team USA for the women's, but, it's going to be a lot harder path to get to the gold medal now. But yeah, I just want to throw that out there. Like, they at least have, quality players from the USA Professional League. And then just, who came up with this roster, man? I don't like no hate to any of these guys. I'm sure they earned their spot, and they're they're good at basketball. Let's not get twisted. Anyone making it this far is gonna be good at basketball. They're gonna be better than anyone else at the local gym or anything. But let's just take a little deep dive. I'm not going to cover Jimmer Fredette too much. I think we all know who he is. If you've been following the NBA for the past decade, you've at least heard of him. He was a legend at BYU in college, a three-point assassin, if you will. He was the three-point assassin before Stephen Curry, if we're being honest. Yeah, that good. That good. As you can see here, career length, he only played in the NBA for 6 years. His debut was in 2011. And if we go down to some of the teams he played for, he started out in Sacramento and then made his way to a whole bunch of different teams. He was playing in Chinese League in 2017-2018, came back to the NBA for a few games playing for Phoenix, and couldn't average double digits in scoring ever. If you look at his three-point percentage, obviously pretty solid early in his career. This one season, yes, it's only 49 games, but man, shooting 47% from three, even with the minutes played. I mean, that's good, right? Who else can do that? Not a lot of players. So, yeah, all in all, he better career than most people can say. It's hard enough just to make the NBA. For him to stick around for this long is pretty impressive. But that being said, kind of surprised that this was the best player that Team USA could get for a 3v3 team. I'm not sure if the weird rules and the shape, size of the basketball plays into it too. But yeah, there's that. And then, I don't want to talk about Kenyon Berry just yet. Let's talk about Dylan Travis. So Dylan, he's 31 years old, went to Florida Southern College. I couldn't even tell you what city that's located in. I don't know a thing about Florida Southern College. He apparently did not play professional. I mean, in the other bio for Kareem here, they do have notes on his professional career. I don't see any notes here at all for professional career at all. It looks like he played at Midland University as a freshman in 2012-2013, and then transferred to Iowa Central Community College, and then won the Division II championship with them, and then the Division II championship was as a junior with Florida Southern, so that's where he won the D2 championship. That was in 2015. That was a while ago, and then there's a gap, and then he started playing for the 3v3 qualifying tournament in 2020, and he ended up being good enough, right? Now he's 6'3", and again, I got to talk about the heights here. Jimmer Fredette, 6'2". Dylan Travis, 6'3". Canyon Barry, 6'6". Kareem is 6'8". I can't believe they couldn't get a single 7-footer. Now, I get that maybe part of it is you do want to be quick in this because of how fast-paced the game is with the 12-second shot clock. But I don't know. Really? Like, we couldn't... And they've been struggling with the rebounding, too. So, it would have helped to get someone taller. Anyways, Kareem here, he is 34 years old. Yeah, we also have a really old team, whereas the women's team has like a couple of players in their early 20s, mid-20s. Team USA for the men's, just a bunch of like mid-30-year-old guys. Kenyon Barry's 30. He's the youngest guy on this team because you got Jimmer's 35, you got Dylan Travis 31, you got Kareem 34. So kind of shocking there. Kareem, he went to Princeton University and played for them. What is this? The 2010 College Basketball Invitational Semifinals, and he also played in the NCAA tournament, making to the second round. In the professional career, he played in the Netherlands and the United Kingdom. He was the runner-up for league MVP. Not too bad. So, he at least had a solid professional career, not in the NBA, but, still very solid professional career. He's got a resume at least. So yeah, there you go. 6'8". And then this is the guy. This is the MVP of the team. It's not Jimmer. It's Canyon Barry. For at least from the game I watched today. He is, name might look familiar. He is the son of Rick Barry. Rick Barry, of course, being on the NBA 75th anniversary team. He's the only player to lead the NCAA, ABA, and NBA in scoring throughout his career. So, one other thing. He's the guy that shoots free throws underhand, and it turns out his son also does the same thing. And actually, to win this game today, Team USA had to come back late, and part of the comeback was him shooting 2 underhand free throws, and it was one of the wildest games of half-court basketball I've ever seen. It's just... Yeah, this guy's incredible. He's a great shooter, much like his father. And, he ended up hitting the game winner, banking it in from short range. Absolutely incredible game. But, yeah, just kind of funny to me. This roster is so goofy. You got a guy that was really hyped up like a decade ago that hasn't played a whole lot recently, and now he's like the player coach on the team. Or, I'm assuming he's the player coach now because of whatever injury he had or has. You got a son of an NBA legend who himself is not much of a NBA legend. He played professionally in multiple countries. He played in the G League. So not quite the career of his father. And then you got two guys, one guy that, as far as I can tell, didn't even play professional basketball. And then you got another guy who played professionally, but not in the United States. Kind of crazy to me that they couldn't get at least one former NBA role player. I'd call Jimmer more of a bench player than a role player. Kind of surprised they couldn't get someone that had a more illustrious NBA career. But hey, that's just how it goes sometimes, I guess. And like I said, I'm just not sure if part of it has to do with the fact that the ball is a different size and the rules are kind of weird, and it's, NBA teams are pretty strict on what their players do, and 3v3 is not getting as much publicity as the 5v5. I don't know. But yeah, they ended up, let's go in the play-by-play and show you kind of the comeback here. So, where are we at? Substitution. So it's tied 18-18. Oh, sorry. Here we go. France was up 18-18. Canyon Barry makes the 1-point shot. France misses. USA gets the rebound. France calls a timeout after a foul. They make a substitution. Canyon Barry is then... that foul, by the way, that was the the 2-pointer perimeter shot he was fouled on. Canyon Barry making both underhand free throws. And then France makes a bucket. USA gets the ball right back. And Canyon Barry, with 50 seconds left on the game clock, gets the game winner. And, yeah, like I said... no one else even comes close, right? He got 16 of the team's 21 points. So, yeah, there you have it. 3v3 basketball, very interesting. Highly recommend watching. Team USA not very likely to even get a medal in this, but still fun to watch. Some of the former NBA players and current WNBA and college players kind of go at it. So yeah, pretty fun. Recommend the watch, but definitely not the draw that the 5v5 is. Just something interesting, something new, and would be kind of curious to see if it picks up popularity after this Olympics. Let me know what you think in the comments down below if you take a watch. And click the video on your screen now for some more Olympic basketball videos.